been doing it this way for 5 years. You're not going to be better in 5 days. See the improvement, both benefit from it, and still keep a good, healthy environment. To improve does not mean where you're at is not good enough. It's just not what you need to be for where you're trying to go. If you ain't subscribed, how much time you need? No, I'm just kidding. Welcome to Worthy Soul. And if this is not your first time, welcome back. Thank you for coming back. My name is Danielle Lane. And, if you're here, for not your first time, if you're back, it's probably because you're trying to improve yourself. And I've been helping. I've been giving little tidbits here and there, things that you could benefit from that's been helping you on your journey. And if this is your first time, that's what we all about here. Worthy Soul. We are souls worthy of improving ourselves, becoming the best versions of ourselves, and living at the highest level possible that we can. That is literally why we are all here. And I just want to talk about the process of improvement. Improvement in anything, whether that's your relationships, whether that's a talent, school, whatever it is, anything that you're trying to improve is going to take work, number one. And we have to be willing to do that work. We have to be willing to say, y'all, because my last video, the mic was not on. I'm about to fix it, but I just to make sure, because I thought I had turned it on last time and I didn't. So my bad. But we have to, accept that we're going to have to do some work. We're going to have to do some work, either destruction of some things or habits that we have and reconstruct those habits, or starting from ground zero in certain things and understanding certain things so that we can make the improvements that we need. But we have to accept, it's going to be work. Sometimes it's going to be harder than others. Sometimes it may be easy. But there's no getting around doing the work. And in doing the work, we have to be intentional about doing the work. We have to be intentional about making the improvements. We have to really look for, depending on what the improvement is, we have to make sure that we're intentional about taking the opportunities that come that allow us to make the improvement, implement the improvement, and maintain the improvement. But be intentional about whatever that improvement is and realizing it's just not going to happen because we want it to happen. It's not going to happen because we worked on it one day and not another. No, every day is going to count. Every day is going to matter. When you're it matters regardless in life. Every day counts. Every moment counts. But especially when you're trying to improve something, you have to be intentional about that improvement. You have to be intentional about remembering why you need to improve it, why you're trying to improve it. What's the benefits of improving it, and what sometimes maybe what's another word for the opposite of a benefit? Non-beneficial. Why it's non-beneficial? That may not be, but non-beneficial. Why it would be non-beneficial for you not to make that improvement? So that while you're doing that work, you can remind yourself, if I don't do this, X, Y, and Z could possibly happen. And I don't even want to deal with that possibility, And just remember, I have to be intentional. I have to, intentional is you keeping that improvement in your head. You making sure that you take every opportunity to try to improve it. And you reminding yourself, hey, we need to do this. Hey, oh, yes, let's work on that. Oh, yes, this is what I said I was going to do. And with intentionality, you have to be patient. Be patient with yourself because it's going to take time. It's going to take time to make that improvement. And then it's going to take time to be able to maintain that improvement. Because sometimes you may get it right. And the next time you may fall back into that old habit or that old way that you're trying to improve. So be patient with yourself. Be kind. And remember that it's going to take time. Take time. And depending on how long you've been dealing with that, if it's a situation that you've been dealing with for a long time, remember that it's going to take time. If you've been doing that habit, or you've been doing something a certain way, or you had an understanding for so long, it's going to take time to fix that, to improve it, to enhance it, whatever you're doing. It's going to take time. It is going to take time. So if it was like, I've been doing it this way for 5 years, you're not going to be better in 5 days. You're not. Do you know what I mean? It might take you 5 days just to accept that you need to make the change. It might. So remember, like, the longer that was a habit, the longer it was an issue, whatever it was, the longer it's going to take for you to fix it, for you to improve it. And be patient and make sure that if this is an improvement that's in your relationship and things like that, make sure that your partner or your friend, whoever you're working with to make this improvement, make sure that they're being patient with you. Make sure that you remind them it's going to take time. And if you're the person on the other side working with that person trying to make those improvements, be kind, be understanding, and look for effort. Look for effort, not progress in the beginning. Because sometimes there may not be no progress in the beginning, but if there's effort, that's what matters. Improvement takes effort, which is the work. So if you see them doing the work, they may not be getting it right, but they're trying. Be patient with them. Give them time. And acknowledge that. Let them know, like, hey, I know you're working on it. And I just appreciate you working on it. I appreciate you acknowledging, like, that this is something that needs to be done for the sake of our relationship. And do you need help? Do you need help strategizing? Do you need help figuring it out? Do you need me to give you little gentle reminders? Whatever. So then that way, y'all could both see the improvement, both benefit from it, and still keep a good, healthy environment going for your situation. Whatever it is, like I said, friendship, family member, relationship with that man or woman, whatever it is, when we are trying to make improvements, we have to always remember it's going to take work. It's going to take intentionality. It's going to take patience, and it's going to take time. And if you don't got the time, you may not make that improvement. Not because you're not capable of making it, but because you're not giving yourself the space and the opportunity to make it. And we all need opportunity. We all need space, like I said, because sometimes you need the space just to see why you need to make the improvement. And it can be frustrating for somebody that is waiting for you to make that improvement. It can be hard to sit in with you. But the more intentional that person is about being patient with you, sometimes it can make it easier for you to make that improvement. The more patient you are with yourself can help make the process of improvement a little bit. Because sometimes we be the reasons why we can't improve. Because our self-talk don't be good. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if we are not understanding that, like, this is new, it's going to take work. The work sometimes is starting with trying to understand, trying to strategize, trying to figure out what works and what doesn't work. And that's sometimes why it does take more time than not. Because you have to figure out, okay, I want to make this improvement, but how do I make it? And then when you pinpoint, okay, I'm going to make the improvement by doing this. And then when you try it and you see, like, okay, no, I don't really like the results of that. You have to go back, do a little more work, be intentional about doing that work and figuring out, like, okay, nah, we tried it, but that didn't work. Patience with yourself. Patient to know that sometimes it's going to take a few times before you figure out the right formula, before you figure out, okay, this is what I need to do. This is giving me the results that I want, right? And sometimes when you get those results and you don't get them again, it's going to take more work to figure out why you didn't get them again. Where did you go wrong? What was the problem? What improvements need to be made, right? Do I need to be more intentional with myself? Do I need to give myself more time? Do I need to be more understanding? Maybe I need some help. Whatever it is, there's so many components sometimes, depending on the improvement, that have to be dealt with, that the time may be longer than you want. It may take you longer than you want to make that improvement, but that doesn't mean that you're not improving. Just you working on it can be an improvement sometimes, because maybe you that person that never wanted to change nothing. You don't change nothing. You are who you are, and you just how it's gonna be. So when you are coming from that and you're that type of person, and then you start trying to make improvements, whoo, it's a lot to unpack there, right? Like, you got to unpack the fact that you are who you are, but you could be better. Or you are who you are, but You trying to be a little different for this situation because it calls for it sometimes. It calls for it sometimes. And sometimes it's just necessary, you know? And it's not to say that you're not good enough or who you are is not good enough. It's just to say that, like, you know, we want better. I want better. I want this situation, the improvements I need to be made aren't going to harm me. I'd probably benefit from them even if I wasn't with that person, or even if I wasn't trying to do something with that person. This improvement will still be good for me. So there's no benefit to not making that improvement. But like I said, if you are that person to where like improvement it ain't really been your thing and you've been just fine where you at, it may take you a little bit longer, more time, more patience, more work. Because you got other things you got to work out before you can even start making that improvement, but that specific improvement. Because you are improving, because you're willing to try to change. So be accepting of who you are, right? Like accepting of where you're at in those improvements. Accepting that, like, okay, it's taking a little long. What's the problem? But if it's taking a little long, just figure out the problem. Don't stop trying to make the improvements. Don't give up on the improvement. Just figure out where you're going wrong at, or where you're stumbling at, or where you're having issues at, or what you're not understanding, right? Because sometimes you want to make an improvement and you start making that improvement and then you're like, oh, I don't think these are the results that I want. And since these are not the results that I want, I have to figure out what a different improvement or another way, something else. Maybe this is not what I need to improve. Maybe it's something else that I need to improve to get me the results that I'm looking for. So it's going to be work, y'all. It's going to be work. But you worth the work. Don't be scared of the work. You worth being patient with yourself. Intentionality is key. You should be intentional with everything you do with yourself. Just like you want people to be intentional with you and your time when they spending it with you, you make sure that you be intentional with your time too, so that you can improve the things that you need to, so that you could be out here living your best life, living the life you're worth living, and not settling because you don't want to be patient with yourself, because you don't want to take the time it's going to take to make that improvement, because you don't feel like being intentional. You just want it to happen. Nothing just happens, unfortunately. The only thing that just happens, I don't know, I was going to say gaining weight, but it don't just happen. Sometimes it do for certain people. So if that's y'all issue, I'm not laughing at y'all. But if you was just out here like me, sometimes just going to town with the food, that didn't just happen. You just happened to keep putting that food in your mouth. But yeah, so you know, nothing just happens. You have to be intentional about everything, especially something new and trying to maintain something. But it's worth it. You're worth it. I'm worth it. Improvement is necessary. To go anywhere in life, you have to improve. Just because you have to improve does not mean where you're at is not good enough. It's just not what you need to be for where you're trying to go. And sometimes improvement is because guess what? That's just the next level of life. Like that's literally what it is. Whatever you're trying to do, you may just need to improve in that area. It doesn't mean anything else. It doesn't mean that you're not intelligent. It doesn't mean that you don't know nothing. It just means that you don't know enough or you're not doing enough to address that situation. So do it. Do it, do it, do it. Don't sell yourself short ever. Do the work. Be intentional. Be patient and take the time that you need so that you can get it done. And make sure that those around you that expect some improvement from you, that they're doing those same things, that they are giving you time to work, helping you to be intentional, helping you do the work if you need the help, willing to be patient with you, and willing to give you that time. And if you ain't subscribed, how much time you need? No, I'm just kidding. However much time you need, go ahead and take it. I'm patient. You be patient with yourself so that you can decide if this is where you want to subscribe to. If I've been helping you, you know, go ahead and subscribe. Let me know why maybe that you haven't subscribed. Maybe it's something that I'm not doing. Maybe it's something on your end. Whatever it is, maybe I'm not working hard enough for you. I don't know, but let me know. And if you have subscribed, thank you. Like, share, comment. Why you haven't subscribed? But no, seriously, comment on some things that you've been working on to improve in your life. Maybe let us know where you had issues at. Maybe let us know a situation, how long it may have taken you, how long you were struggling with it, and maybe some things that you had to do or remind yourself of so that you can make those improvements and maintain those improvements. And I just hope that we continue to improve ourselves, because we are worth the improvement that we need to live the life that we're worthy of having, which is a life at our highest potential. And I will see you next time.